Chapter 5, The Rich Young Master and the Poor Young Lady. 05. Will Hotel. Diana wore an elegant white long dress, her hair was loosely tied, and there was a delicate camellia flower on her hairline. Her makeup was elegant but her expression carried a hint of charm. She held a glass of champagne in her hand, standing to the side, smiling as she watched her cousin Charles Grant come forward to talk to the filmmaker and director. Today's banquet was held by the Graham family's heir Augustus Graham for the 10th anniversary of his company. Augustus was the most respected descendant of the Graham family. Not only had he been appointed as the heir long ago, he also single-handedly founded Wind Media, the #1 in entertainment industry, and was considered the only descendant of the major families in City A with a bright future. And after Diana transmigrated, on one hand she made all sorts of random encounters with the male lead, on the other hand she also made plans for Luna's future. The female supporting character counterattacked. After all, she required capital, as a member of the Grant family, although she was not favored enough, but she still had the money to invest in a few movies. With her eyes on so many years in the entertainment industry, plus the life experience accumulated in the previous 10 worlds, she naturally wanted to participate in the investment of a certain movie. Charles is the director of this film. He is considered a good person in the Grant family, a young and talented person, has struggled with the Grant family for many years to become a director, and is now a new director with a bright future. Diana contacted him after flipping through the story. He was also very happy to cooperate with her, so he brought her to today's banquet. The banquet was an excellent social occasion. She had indeed reaped the rewards today, befriending quite a few big shots directors and filmmakers, even having a few scripts she had thought about acting herself. However, as a wealthy family, especially the Grant family who valued their family's reputation, would absolutely not agree to her acting. Director was probably already a profession that the family reluctantly accepted, and as an actress, she should not even think about being one. Diana was a sensible person. Naturally she also came to care a little about the persona. Perhaps she could let 2333 choose an entertainment world for her next time? Diana was lost in thought, when suddenly a big hand touched her slim waist. Oh, is this Director Grant's latest girlfriend? She frowned, immediately avoided that hand that was just reaching over. She indifferently glanced at the middle-aged man in front of her who pretended to be serious but revealed no good intentions, and said to the man beside her, "Charles, you usually hang out with these people?" "These people? Little girl, why are you talking like that?" The middle-aged man's expression changed as he spoke. Charles saw this and immediately pulled Diana back 2 steps, coldly looking at that middle-aged man. "Let me introduce you, this is General Manager Enda, this is my cousin, the new film investor." That Enda was a little surprised when he heard this. She was actually a Grant family person? At this time, he had offended her. He could only pull the corner of his mouth. "So you are my niece, lucky to meet you, ha ha ha." Diana placed the champagne in her hand on the tray the servant was holding beside her, lifted her delicate chin. "Sorry, I didn't know there was such an uncle." Then she whispered to Charles, "A friend is here, I'll go take a look." Charles raised his hand to gently stroke her hair, nodded. Actually, he brought her here today, and had another idea. He wanted to let her and the people of the Graham family meet once. He had also heard about the Grant family and Graham family's marriage. Without any surprises, the person chosen for the marriage would probably be Diana. They were not too familiar before, but now he really liked this cousin who always had ideas, and wanted to help her in his heart. Although, he also had nothing to help, he just instinctively wanted to let her have some mental preparation first. Diana also did not know Charles's idea. She was the one who discovered the incident and hurriedly left. 2333, the story content has not yet begun. Why did Kenzo and Letitia get to know each other? Chapter 6, The Rich Young Master and the Poor Young Lady. 06. Diana saw Letitia also wearing a white long dress and holding Kenzo's arm walking into the hall. Her face was delicate, almond eyes, cherry lips. It seemed she was not too used to such a situation. On her face also carried a faint trace of naive innocence. Looking especially can make men want to protect. Reading the story, I thought it was a strong and generous female lead. It turns out it is a little white flower. Diana exclaimed. She actually adapted well to the sudden change of story content, after all this kind of thing has experienced many times. Host, you don't need to give up the story. 2333 pulled out the interface, giving her the indication of 8 progress. What's the hurry? The story hasn't even started yet and has already completed 8, this proves my method is correct, right? She secretly reached out to caress 2333. Host, then how do you plan to do now? Her mouth corners gently relaxed, and she held a glass of deep blue cocktail, leaning to one side, holding a tree and waiting for a rabbit. Mr. Graham, is this your condition for helping me? Letitia looked bewildered, uneasily biting her lips. She was just a small local girl, never been to this kind of luxurious and grand occasion. Everything before her eyes seemed to be a scene that could only appear in a dream. There was a bit of anticipation in her eyes, then fear that after waking up from her dream, she would find herself still in that remote small town. Kenzo gently grabbed the hand that was tightly pinching his sleeve, and said gently, "No need to be nervous, you just need to be my girlfriend for a day and you can successfully get your younger brother's tuition." "Yes, thank you." Letitia nodded, then smiled at him. Her smile was warm and like the first rays of sunshine, causing Kenzo to be startled. "Kenzo, you're here? Oh, why didn't you bring Jolie? Are you changing your girlfriend again?" At this moment a flirtatious male voice rang out, and Kenzo's shoulder was immediately patted. He glanced at the person who came. It was his childhood playmate Logan Enda, so he said, "That woman is too ambitious, not interesting." Logan nodded in understanding, then without any restraint, he looked at Letitia. "You changed your taste? Pure and lovely Tia, I really like her." Kenzo leaned his body to the side, blocking Logan's gaze that was making Letitia feel uncomfortable. Logan didn't care about him defending his person. Knowing him for more than 20 years, he already knew what kind of person Kenzo was. When he liked her, he would try his best to please her, and when he didn't like her, he would abandon her like a broken shoe and turn a blind eye. He didn't know how long this pure and lovely Fox lady could stay by his side. He pondered and glanced at Letitia Fox, causing her face to pale a few shades. "Not interesting." Logan pouted, "So a timid woman is also worthy of Kenzo's protection? Hey Kenzo, have you met that young lady of the Grant family?" Logan's eyes rolled, lowering his voice to ask mysteriously. "Who?" Kenzo held a glass of fruit wine for Letitia, seemingly a little indifferent. "It's that young lady of the Grant family. Isn't your family wanting to marry into a marriage alliance with their family?" Logan usually loves gossip the most, has heard all kinds of news. At this time he said it with a little hint. Kenzo also thought of it. His grandfather had hinted that he was chosen to get married, but he himself did not pay much attention. Heard that Miss Grant was an ordinary person. Except for her appearance, there was nothing else. He did not plan to treat this marriage seriously. "What are you talking about her for? It seems you have not seen her yet." Logan suddenly smiled. "If you saw her, you would not show this kind of expression." "What do you mean?" "Seeing her, I realized how unbelievable the rumors were." Logan stretched out his hand and pointed, "See for yourself." Kenzo followed the direction he pointed, and immediately widened his eyes in disbelief.